Hello, everybody, and welcome to On the Edge. My name is Kels Dayton, and I'll be taking you through the best of the week in sports here on Sportzedge.com. And first off today, I'd like to start off the show by talking about my boy A-Rod, because I think he's really getting stiffed here by the Yankees. I think it's clear that the two sides haven't seen eye to eye on whether A-Rod is ready to rejoin the team in the Bronx. Alex said that he was ready for the series in Texas, which started last Monday, while the Yankees insist that they've found some immaculate quad strain that will luckily keep Rodriguez on the shelf for the near future. A-Rod went on WFAN radio and told Mike Francesa that he's ready to play right now, but the Yankees are treating him like Play Now treated George Costanza in that Seinfeld episode, doing everything but making him crawl through the ceiling vent to get into the stadium in Tampa. Sure, Rodriguez put himself in this position by lying, cheating, and generally acting like Ronnie from the Jersey Shore, but by any reasonable account, A-Rod is healthy and ready to play in baseball games again. The Yankees, on the other hand, are not ready for him to play in baseball games. They've told him to shut up, basically. They've dared him to file a grievance with the Players Association, and they generally wish ill will towards his entire existence. If it were up to the Yankees, A-Rod would re-injure his quad while jogging naked through Central Park again. He would suffer a concussion after biogenesis bottles fell on him opening his medicine cabinet, or he would choke on a popcorn kernel he was being fed by Kate Hudson. Anything to keep that guy off the field. See, if the Yankees don't play him again this season, they might be able to recoup some of the $100 million they owe him thanks to an insurance policy. But in my opinion, it's the Yankees' fault for signing A-Rod to one of the dumbest contracts in Major League history. All right, now it's time for my boy, Matt Buynak, to join us here. I believe Matt won some type of contest to get into this show here.
Kels, there was no contest. You know you invited me.
I think that's because we didn't have anyone else to come on. I think that's what happened there. Matt, I wanted to ask you your opinion on the A-Rod thing. Do you think he will ever play again?
I don't think he'll ever play for the Yankees again. Will he ever play again? Yes. You figure right now there's this big beef going on between A-Rod and the Yankees, and from the looks of it, they're not really liking each other much right now. If A-Rod's going to get suspended, he's going to miss 50, 100 games. He's not going to play till next season, and who knows when he'll come back next season if he does. He's going to be 38 by then. He's going to be a little old. I don't think that he's going to play for the Yankees again.
Right, and the Yankees still owe him 4 years on that contract. I think they're trying to recoup the insurance money. I think they're basically trying to, set booby traps for him to not come back. I think the MRI strain was a bunch of crap, really. What do you think about that? Do you think they don't want him to come back, or do you think it's Major League Baseball that's maybe saying, hold up a minute, guys, we want to let this whole process go through before he goes back on the field?
It might be Major League Baseball saying, hold on, we don't want him to get on this field until this whole biogenesis thing is figured out. But then again, the Yankees might not want him on the field until the whole biogenesis thing is figured out, because they can get that insurance money if he doesn't play this season.
All right, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Speaking of the Yankees and their position in the AL East race, do you think right now that they can come back? Obviously lost again to Tampa Bay on Saturday. Something like 3.5 games out of that final wild card spot, have been really struggling. Schedule gets much tougher in the second half of the year. Do you think they have a chance to make the playoffs?
Yankees fans, I don't think it's going to happen. They're 8 games out in the East right now, 4 games out in the wild card. ESPN somehow comes up with this statistic, your percent chance of making the playoffs. They give the Yankees less than a 13% chance.
Right, and I don't know how they come up with that percentage, there. I think something may be going on with that as well. But I think they do kind of have a chance. I take a look at the fact that they're pitching. You look at Kuroda, he's been really good. Obviously, Sabathia can't pitch any worse than he's pitched throughout the first half of the season. And they're only 3.5 games back of the Orioles. You got Cleveland in there. I can't name 5 Indians right now. You take a look at Texas, who's really been struggling as well. So I think they do have a chance. You are right, though. It's going to be tough in the second half with that schedule. They loaded up on the Royals and the Blue Jays in the first half. That's not happening in the second half. A lot of games against the Red Sox as well. I think it could be tough for them to make the playoffs.
You got to look at that AL East. It's clearly the toughest division in baseball. And the way the Rays have been playing lately, they've won 21 out of 24. And the Sox have been kind of struggling. They're both right there at the top. You can't expect the Rays to keep that up. They're going to cool down a bit. And you can't expect the Sox to keep struggling either. They're going to pick it up. And that kind of just leaves the Yankees out there.
Who do you think is going to win the AL East?
I got to give it to the Red Sox right now. Like I said, with the two of them, the Rays surging, the Red Sox kind of falling behind. Both teams aren't going to keep that up. And if they're still together when they find a happy medium, then I think the Sox are going to push a little bit ahead because they're gaining steam, while the Rays, they're kind of lagging.
Yeah, you're right, and I think that could happen. Obviously, I think the Rays are on fire right now. I think the pitching has been great for the Rays. When you look at Archer, he's been outstanding for them. Will Myers has been great, hitting star for them coming in, and they really got the best, it looks like, as of right now, of that James Shields trade, which I think was big for them.
Myers has been doing great. He's really hitting the ball and contributing to that team.
I think Tampa Bay obviously is going to win. I think obviously when you look at the playoff picture, Baltimore's still in there. Who do you think is going to pick up that last wild card when you look at that?
If you keep it the way it is right now, I'd say it's going to be Baltimore. They're competing in that toughest division here, like I said, and they have what it takes to finish out the rest of the way.
Now, one thing that we wanted to go back to here is the A-Rod situation and his contract. Joel Alderman wrote a piece for us on Sportzedge.com saying that he should be able to seek a second opinion from doctors. Do you think his contract should be voidable by the Yankees? They were the ones who signed him to that contract. That was ridiculous. Probably even people back then would have told you he's not going to be as good, down the line, 2017 or whatever year it is that he finally comes off of the books. But do you think contracts of suspended stars should be voidable?
Absolutely. If you're suspended for using PEDs, your contract should be voidable. The system, the way it's set up right now, 50 games for a first offense, that's a little bit of a slap on the wrist. It's basically you sit out 50 games and you come back to your team and you go on like normal. How big of a punishment would it be if you could have your contract voided? So now you just sat out 50 games and you got to find a team that's going to pick you up after you're a known steroids user. Yeah. People don't want that on their team.
You're right, and I think that's obviously going to be a big deterrent, a lot more of a deterrent than there is right now when you just have the 50 game for first offense, 100 game for second offense, and then the third offense, maybe you get popped. And one other thing I think with A-Rod is maybe that tampering situation with Major League Baseball. Maybe they're looking at him and saying, he tried to pay off the guy at the biogenesis clinic or whatever it was. Maybe now they can hit him with a little bit of a harder penalty.
Listen, I know it's been brought up that A-Rod might be banned for life. It's not going to happen. It hasn't been done for a steroid user before, so it's unprecedented, really. It's the punishment for a third violation. A-Rod hasn't been convicted, so to say, of his first yet. Sure, he's admitted that he used steroids from 01 to 03, but
right.
There was no punishment for that. The only player that's ever been banned from baseball, Pete Rose. And some people are saying, well, maybe he shouldn't have been. Maybe he should be able to manage a team. Maybe he should be able to make it into the Hall of Fame now. Now that he's been banned from baseball, neither of those things can happen.
Seems like too harsh a penalty for A-Rod, only being a one-time guy who got popped, never failed a drug test in Major League Baseball either.
But after all, he should know better. He admitted to it. There was the big backlash against it, and obviously he didn't learn from it if he's done it again. So there should be a harsher penalty for him, but he shouldn't be banned.
I agree with that. Obviously, a lot of people think as harsh as you can get with punishment for A-Rod. Thanks for watching this episode of Sports Edge. Who's got the edge? I think it was me.
It was definitely me. I've got the edge.
Be sure to check Sportsedge.com for more from Matt Buynak and from me, Kels Dayton. For both of us, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good one.